Love it, lad. All right, guys. Welcome back to Shuaige podcast. We're on season 2 now. Mike has been smashing it out, doing some interviews. Got some new guests coming on today. We have Rob Run Corleone, who is rapper. He owns label. He's been with Empire. He's on songs with Sean Kingston, and songs with Rick Ross. And he's gonna come on the podcast today. I'm gonna interview him, and we're gonna get some questions in there.
Now, Mr. Rob Run Corleone, you are on Shuaige the podcast. This is our second season, actually.
All right.
And we've only just started getting guests on, like you've seen us on Polywork, and we've not had anyone with like your sort of caliber. Rob himself is on an 80-20 deal with Empire. Released music with the like of Sean Kingston, Rick Ross. So he's doing pretty well himself. So how are you doing, Rob?
I'm doing all right, man. Cooking a couple steaks right now. I got a couple T-bones on the stove.
Sick guy.
Shout out to Johnny Dang for the chain.
Johnny Dang?
Yeah, Johnny Dang made this chain. Shout out to Johnny Dang.
That's so sick. Now, obviously, we've got a few questions ourselves. Like just generic questions like, what did you do? What did you do before music?
I was a hustler, man. I got money in the streets. I used to sell, I started off hand-to-hand drug dealer, and I made my way up to selling kilos, and eventually led me to federal prison, state prison. And at one time I was doing about $200,000 a month in profits, and about 200 money in gross, about 50, 60K a month in profit. And I did time in federal prison with Young Buck from G Unit, Twisted Black that was signed with Clive Davis, a few NFL players, John Walker Lynn, the 9/11 bomber. There's so many people. Sherman Kemp, BMF member from the Josephine gang. He was a Fed magazine alumni. And I just ran across a lot of other good men along that way. Free Danny McIntosh.
That's insane. Rob, how did you go from being on the streets, going to prison? How did that get you into music? Have you always been into it, or is that something you did while you were in there?
Could you repeat the question? I can hear you.
So how did you go from being on the streets and going to prison? How did that lead you to doing your music?
I always was doing music. When I turned 18, my cousin Tyrell, we kind of beefing right now. He met a guy that worked for LaFace named Sean Flex Stevenson. He took us. He didn't want to take us to LaFace Records. He had us working promo for the Goody Mob. And after that, he took us to Red Ant Records, but they said we cussed too much. But one thing led to another, and some guys from the label started giving us weed to sell, and it all started from there.
Which label's this? You've turned your mic off.
I always rap. I had a guy named Bill, Lamont Crenshaw, rest of dead. He showed me the way. He showed me the business side. And basically after that, I just been rocking ever since, man, on my own, trying to learn the business, trying to learn how to make money on my own through the business side.
So, because how long was it in prison? 10? Did you say 10 years?
Yeah.
So, are you no longer in that, sort of business, kingpin business?
No, I sell services. I'm a consultant. I'm a consultant for Dipset. I'm a consultant for DVD Global Empress. She signed over there at Empire and a lot of other labels. Right now, I got Trapstar Tay on my roster. And I've just been doing a lot of consulting, getting people YouTube partnerships, just showing people how to work the Spotify release radar. A lot of people that drop, they don't understand why labels put out music on Fridays. Labels put music out on Fridays because there's a Spotify algorithm called Release Radar. And you can trigger the algorithm by releasing music on Fridays because the algorithm will trigger to all of your monthly listeners. It'll make them aware that you're out, and people will start putting you on playlists. And if you have a feature like Sean Kingston or Rick Ross or Freeway Rick Ross or Little Flip or somebody like that or Little Baby or Little Dirk, then the algorithm will find all of their fans, and they got 10 millions of fans. So that'll equal to maybe 100,000 streams for you in your opening week.
Oh wow.
That is insane.
What was it like working with like Sean Kingston and Rick Ross?
Oh, it was great, man. Chemistry was great. The best guy I probably worked with was Bone the Mac. He's the first person to ever take me on a real tour. Nappy Roots had offered back in the day, but I was too far in the streets, and I had declined the offer because I didn't want to piggyback. But I learned that if there's a train coming through, just jump on and enjoy the ride. Life is much easier. I think LeBron James probably mastered that.
Yeah. How did you get into the position to being like networking with these kind of people? So being on songs with Sean Kingston, being on songs with Rick Ross, is that through like Empire and through the labels?
Well, that and relationships. I started off, I tried to get a record deal with King George. He was with Master P at 18. King George probably don't even remember this. This is 1997. And as I was hanging out with the Nappy Roots, as they were going through their transition of getting a deal but being shelved, I ran into a guy named Corey Black who had a distribution deal. And he was his own CEO. And I was like, wow, how did you accomplish that? So he gave me a list of distributors and places to call around. He's like, you can be your own CEO, put your own money behind it, and you'll never need a record deal. You can sign yourself. And then when they come to offer you a deal, which they did, TVT offered me a deal, but Pitbull sued them, and the label folded. And I was at BCD Music Group, was my distributor. There was also Little Flip, DJ Drama, and Devin the Dude, and Snoop Dogg's distributors as well before they went on to get better deals.
Wow. Yeah, because I can see with Empire, they've got an unreal amount of people who've worked for them. You've got the likes of, Snoop Dogg, Cardi B, King Von, Tentacion, 50 Cent, Iggy Azalea, Tiger. Have you met any of these people?
I've met a few. I've met a few along the way. I've met a lot of celebrities. Ultimately, my label is like the lowest on the totem pole in Empire, but we're working. But I'm in a crew with Bone the Mac from Def Jam. He's also an Empire. And I usually meet a lot of people through him. He's been like my guide in the music industry. And, I probably talk to more people on the phone than the average. My day consists of talking to several celebrities and consulting several celebrities per day.
And what are you normally talking about with them?
Well, we're talking about how to increase their streams. I mainly work with their new artists because a lot of these celebrities and a lot of these artists, they're just artists. They never learn business side. And you got to understand, Lil Wayne, there's a Birdman. And Birdman is the guy with the know-how. Lil Wayne was just an artist. Shouts out to Lil Wayne. Not saying anything about Lil Wayne. I'm using him as an example. Yeah. Most artists don't know how to run a label. So when they get these new artists and they're not jumping, they come to guys like me, and I help them with YouTube partnerships, get monetization on Instagram, get monetized on TikTok, using apps like the Reach app that'll let you do TikTok posts and pay you to do 20 posts a week for $200 a week. Instagram will pay you $1,200 a month to post reels. Facebook will pay you another $100, $200 a month. Using YouTube Shorts to grow your YouTube channel. you'll make another. You can make $30 to $50 a day using YouTube Shorts by using just hashtags. Like you post something about Gunna's going viral right now, or AOKD's going viral right now, and you post something about those guys with the right hashtags, they'll be at 10K views in 3 or 4 hours, and that's $30 that you just made off YouTube. What you hope is, with all of that going on, a label will come and give you $500,000, $1 million for a piece of you. What's the problem with the industry is a lot of these guys are taking what I call the Gucci Mane deals, which is a great deal. You get 100,000 and chain, but you only get 15% of your streaming. So if you got 10, you need 10 million monthly listeners to actually equate to $30,000 a month, and you only get 15% of that. So that's only $4,500 a month, and most of those guys are only at 100,000 monthly listeners, which is about a minimum of $350 a month. So if they're not really touring and getting a lot of touring money, then they're back in the hood still selling dope.
Yeah.
With the record.
Does that lead into, you said you want to talk about artists who are willing to invest in it themselves? Is that like what it looks like to come into someone like you who can do the business side and show them how to do it properly and how it is best for them?
What you would do, well, the first thing I would do is, what I did was, I would find any celebrity loving hip hop. I'd call booking agents. Hey, I want Miami Tip to post my video on her Instagram. Hey, I want DJ Drama to post my video of me on his YouTube channel or on his TikTok. And after you do that 3 or 4 times, celebrities start reaching out to you. And then they'll start inboxing you to see if you want to pay them to do things. As you do that, you can ask them, hey, why don't you do a cheap feature for me? They'll do a cheap feature for you. And next thing you know, fans, you start picking up fans, you use your hashtags, and you start doing shows. You might book an event. If you just break even, if you book somebody like Benzino, shout out to Six the Great, and you just break even, it's still a success because you got to meet Benzino, you took good pictures for your fans, the fans seeing you with celebrities, and those equal the streams. And then eventually, the people, either the fans will come and put the money in your pocket by streaming you a lot, or the labels will come and find you. And that's what happened with me. Labels started calling, and ultimately I knew a guy that was with No Limit back when I was doing features with Mr. Servon from No Limit, and he took me to Empire. He seen my grind and took me to Empire and walked me through the door. And it cost me a couple dollars for the meeting, but the meeting went well, and I ended up signing a contract for 80/20 with Empire. So now if I ever get 10 million monthly listeners on Spotify, out of that 30,000, 28,000 of that is mine, versus, or 24,000 or 26,000, versus if I had a record deal, I would only be getting 4,500 of that. And a lot of people with record deals, they'll be lucky to get to 10 million monthly listeners. The average person, I have 500K, which is about $1,750 a month if you own the label, and only about $350 a month if you're an artist. So now, if you're not doing good shows, you got to do something else to make revenue.
Wow. And so what, do most artists just not know about this?
You said most artists don't know about this?
Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying, no, they don't. It sounds like a great deal, which it is. I mean, when you're broke, $100,000, and to be a part of something sounds like a lot of money. And it can be if you got good management that can keep you booked in clubs and that can invest in other things like box trucks or 18-wheelers, things that make revenue outside of music. So you don't have to depend on the music, or you don't have to sell drugs or rob free Shuaige, in that nature. So when you get $100,000 and you want to live a lifestyle, it's not a lot of money. You pay 30 for the Rolex, 40 for a Scat Pack. You're already down 70 grand. You put 20,000 in the streets, you give your mama 5, you give your sister them 5, and you spend about 10 on clothes. you're down to $10,000 already. Yeah, you'll start getting booked 3,500, 7,500. But what happens when you can't make a real hit record and that goes down to 1,000 or 1,500? You know what I mean? And you taking care of a whole entourage. That's not a lot of money. That's why you see these guys back in the hood selling perks and selling weed.
Yeah.
With record deals.
So is that like something that you'd want to like take control of? Like make people aware there's another way of doing things?
Yeah, well, I give my artists 50-50, after the recoup, because they need money. I'm not here to break somebody or make all the money. I want my artists to live. I don't need my artists going to jail. I don't need my artists going to prison. I just want my artists to recoup, And so with that being said, what I like to do is make sure they're getting a good percentage of the money. And I would never give an artist, if I was going to sign an artist, if I couldn't give them $500,000 or $1 million, I wouldn't waste my time, because they're going to end up in jail or dead because they don't have enough money to live the lifestyle. And despite people saying, well, they shouldn't live the lifestyle, you're going to want to live the lifestyle. You're going to want the cars. You're going to want the girls. You're going to want the clothes. And I like how Eminem gave 50 Cent $1 million. That way he can move on to doing other things, because he had enough money to buy a house or an apartment or a condo and cars and take care of his moms and things of that nature. 100,000 is just not enough money to do all of that.
So are you trying to be have a bit of a different mindset towards these other rappers? Because like you said, is there a lot more rappers that are more broke than we think?
Definitely, it's a lot of rappers that are broke. It's all a facade. Most of them are in the hood selling weed or in the hood selling perks. And I'm not saying that to downgrade them, because I've been there. I'm saying these CEOs and these major labels need to start giving these artists more money up front. Give them $1 million. If you can't sign somebody for $1 million, $500,000, to where they can buy a house, they can buy some cars, start a business, and get themselves to a different type of environment, then you're wasting the artist's time, because the artist will never see any streaming dollars. The artist will never see any money off the album sales. They'll be lucky to be as big as Jack Harlow or ESTG. Most of these artists will never be as big as King Von. Maybe not even me, but I get 80%. So I don't got to be big as King Von. But if you're only getting 15% for you to survive, you either have to have a radio hit like Bone the Mac that every club plays, old and young, or you're just gonna be stuck. You know what I mean?
What do you know any names yourself, if you're comfortable saying it, that like are quite big time and they're just like very underpaid?
I do, but I don't want to tell nobody's business.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that type of controversy. You know what I mean? Just to know that to the youth that it's not as sweet as it looks. Invest in yourself. Have your numbers up. Be at 50K, 100K monthly listeners. Invest in features. Go work 2 shifts at Pizza Hut if that's your job. If you're hustling, hustle harder. You need leverage. When these labels come, you need leverage. And if you got 100 monthly listeners and 500 YouTube views and they want to sign you, you got no leverage. You're about to sign a slave contract and get 10 or 15% if you're lucky.
Do you think that's like, you hear a lot of artists that just fall off or like go into self-destruct mode? Do you think that's like the main reason? Because they don't get the backing that they like should, essentially. Don't get what out of it that they deserve.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I would just like, I'm into boxing myself, and I know what you're saying when there's some like, you don't have to be that good to become a pro boxer, like, and there's some fighters who end up becoming pretty good, but they're in these shit contracts with these managers who are just like, there's some pros who became world champions, and they were still having to give money to old managers back when they were a youngster because they were just signing these slave contracts. And I'm guessing it's the same at music industry.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, you basically got to knock out as many people as you can so you can create leverage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because if you're knocking people out, if you're winning fights, you can say, "Hey, I ain't fighting no more until this contract gets better."
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like that happened to a lot of people that just get on board and they'll sign anything, and then once it goes further down the line, it turns into something they probably shouldn't have done, or something they're not going to get anything out of in the end. I think it's like showing people there's a better way of getting onto it. Sounds like that's what you're trying to promote. There's a better way of getting onto it.
Yeah, create leverage. Already have your YouTube monetization. Already have Instagram monetization. Spend your own money. Invest in your career so you can create leverage and get more money from the labels that sign you. Then when they come with 100,000, you can say, "Yeah, I'll take 100,000, but I also want 80%, or I want 50%. So every 30,000 I make off streams, I'm getting 15,000 of that a month, and a person can live off of that type of money, even if it's 3,000. Even if you only got 1 million monthly listeners and you're getting 3,000, at least you get half of it. A lot of these guys go viral and get 1 million views and only get $600 of that because they only get 50% of the contract.
Yeah, it just sounds like daylight robbery.
Yeah, it's just good for looks.
They're not receiving you.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of girls. Now me, I just need the Nike stamp myself, basically saying all I needed was Empire's brand. And I'm a hustler. I'm going to make it work. But not everybody that raps is a hustler. Not everybody with a deal is a hustler. A lot of them are workers, And so you take a guy at McDonald's who's cooking fries, and now you got him rapping. Well, you get the same guy that was blowing money with his McDonald's check, but now he just has a rap check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think also it sounds like you built a network. You built like the foundation, the building block of people to network with and to get you in that space.
And it was hard. At times I wanted to quit. It was hard. At times I paid people for stuff that didn't get me anything. It just was a good look.
Yeah.
But it motivated me.
I think a lot of people aren't willing to do that as well. I think that's what happens. Like people aren't willing to spend the money that knowing they're not going to get a return in the like they don't see the long-term gain. Everyone just sees the short-term gain.
Yeah. Well, the best thing about me is I'm glad that I spent the money because now I have my own label. My label is Double RC, Rich Royalty Cash Getters. My A&R is Jamal Gaines. And we getting 80%. And 80% of something because we're streaming good. We're selling records. And in 6 months from now, I think we'll be multimillionaires independently, or the label will give us the money. Either way. But we're not letting a budget from a label stop us. We're spending our own money. We're going outside every day, doing everything we can to get it. Whether we're making flips or driving trucks.
What sort of artists? Have you got any artists in your label that you're excited about?
Yeah, I got a new song that drops Friday with Riley out of St. Louis. He signed with Sony. It's called Thank You. It's a real street anthem. I love Finesse 2 Times what he's doing. The Yo Gotti's, the Moneybag Yo's, the ESTGs. Rest in peace to Young Dolph. I love the whole Memphis movement. I like Kentucky's movement. Only thing I don't like about Kentucky is the artists. They don't stick together. It's like everybody wants to be the man.
Yeah.
I was gonna,
and they don't realize. Hold on just a second. I got a technical issue.
No problem.
Yeah. It seems like Empire's a different sort of company, and it seems. Do you think you're benefiting from a record label like Empire?
Yeah, you benefit because they have artist packages where you can get on the radio, you can get on BET, you can get on MTV, and they're cheaper if you purchase them than if Empire decides to give it to you. I mean, it's going to be a couple $100,000 if Empire gives it to you, but if you could come out the pocket 50 grand and come off good. I also have a label through 1RPM. That's a great service as well. Shout out to Gucci Gordy. I like how the streaming services and the distro kids make it to where you can just drop an album or a single at any time. But a lot of people are using social media to market, but they should also be buying features from artists because the features help on Spotify. They help you get identified because you get identified by the other artists.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
because they've
inside
already
record
got
labels.
that thing. Sorry, Nathan.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you know, inside record labels, so you have on Empires, you have Rick Ross, you have Sean Kingston. Do people collaborate inside and like, does everyone help each other out, or is it not like that? Like if you're all with the same label?
I mean, some of them help out, and then a lot of it, you have to do guerrilla grass marketing yourself. I mean, those guys, multi-millionaires, they really don't have time, you know. So it's kind of like you're lucky to get a feature from any of those guys. You're lucky to get a feature from anybody, and then it clear at that. You know, I get 80% of the royalties from the Sean Kingston song, but I only get 10% of the Rick Ross song. How the paperwork is drawn up, they want 90%. But it's either, but it's a great promo record for me.
Yeah.
So I took the Rick Ross record as a promo record, and I make my money with the Sean Kingston song.
Oh wow! And do you stay in contact with those guys?
Yeah, yeah. I just got off the phone with Bone the Mac from Def Jam. He's with Empire now. Today I talked to DVD Global. I talked to DJ No Rap today, who's with Cameron, a Diplomat Dipsat member. Every day, man, you know, I deal with celebrities each and every day. My uncle is Vincent Austin, the director of Den of Thieves. It's my uncle-in-law, you know, so those caliber people are always around. I grew up with the Nappy Roots, so we're Facebook friends. Shout out to Big V, he'll always be the big homie. And, you know, every day, man, I'm not starstruck. I turn down more offers. I just got offered to come to an event where Trina is going to be there. I just left an event with Miami Tip from Love and Hip Hop. You know, we took pictures, you can see on my Instagram, and she twerked for me and everything. So, I mean, yeah, you know, when you're in the music industry, man, you twist and turn with celebrities every day. It's just trying to find the time, because I have a trucking company as well. So I have to try to maximize my time.
Are you making most of your money from the trucking company?
Yeah, the trucking company makes about $200,000 a year, and I pump money that I pump that money into the music money, and it's pretty soon the music will outweigh the trucking money, because once I get to, you know, 500,000, 1 million monthly listeners, you know, I'm pretty sure I can convince guys to give me $2-3 million.
Yeah.
Or Gucci Gordy.
Yeah, definitely. Right. The meeting's gonna end in a minute, but I'll send you another link.
How you guys doing?
Yeah, good. You, Matt?
Good.
What's up?
What's up? Yeah, you asked Nathan. What were you gonna ask?
I was gonna say, I feel like we know a lot of people, like young people, trying to get into the music industry. Like, what would you recommend? Like, what route to? Like, if I was just sat here, like, with a mic and guitar, piano, like playing in my mum's house, like, what would you say to them to like get involved?
The first thing I would do is I would have mail, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. I would inbox people left and right, and I would hire a publicist. The most important thing you can have in the music industry is a publicist. They was telling me this 20 years ago, but I didn't listen. But this is how I was able to get to where I'm at right now. The publicist knows all the events. They know all the rappers. They know what millionaire rapper will do a song for $100 down to one that'll do it for 100,000. They can get you in concerts. They can get you opening acts. They can get you record deals. They put you in front of the audience. They put you on Double XL magazine, Hip Hop Weekly magazine. I'd hire a publicist and do almost everything the publicist says, but know the difference when there's a publicist for this publicist is a good publicist for a major artist, or they're a good publicist for a minor artist just starting out. Because the first publicist I got, Bone the Mac gave to me, but she was only a good enough publicist if a person had a radio hit. She wasn't a great publicist to me if you didn't have a radio hit. So I found Cass Jones, which is the editor of Hip Hop Weekly. How I found her, I was just starting to look at people's likes and seeing the type of people that liked its celebrity posts. And I seen that she liked a lot of people's posts. So I Googled to see who she was and checked her out. And she happened to be the editor of Hip Hop Weekly. So I emailed her about 100 times. She finally responded, and we've been doing business ever since.
Nice.
Wow, that's great.
So imagine if you're 16 or 18 and you got a good publicist, then you're going to go far because the publicist is going to put you around the right.
Do you think a publicist is what they can afford, though? Like you're saying, a good one?
I mean, you start off with a couple $100, you know.
Is that a
burger
month?
flipping money, and they'll get you placed in a few magazines, and then they'll, you know, a couple hundred more, and, you know, they'll get you in front of the right people. You need a feature. I think a lot of people, some people make it without having a featured artist, but those are people to me that's ordained by God, or they just are real popular already online, or they just catch a good break, which is to me ordained. And I think that God so loved the world that he gave man a choice, whether you believe that God is to be called Yahweh or Allah. It's all still, to me, we all serve a higher power. And that choice is you have to work for it. Not everybody's born with a jump shot like LeBron James or a vertical leap like Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Know what you mean?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Now you are right there. Some people have just got to work harder. Now I know Empire receives like a lot of controversy for the artists, especially for like the amount of artists that died with them. And do you think that's just like media trying to get what they can get?
Yeah, no, Empire doesn't make you sign a life insurance policy. That's a lie. Now, a lot of people have deals through other labels that are distributed by Empire. Now, they may have made these artists sign a a life insurance policy. But if you look at every artist that died, they were all into something in the street. King Von was killing people, allegedly. PNB Rock was in the bad neighborhood with $100,000 chain on. You know, and so on of Empire artists. Those are street guys that are still in the streets and haven't left the streets alone.
Yeah. And I guess if you don't get away from that, people will remember your name, and it's just a bad time for them. And are you happy you're away from like that sort of life?
I mean, that life is always around the corner. My cousins are still in the streets. You know, I still go to those neighborhoods and promote. And but I mean, I don't have to hustle anymore. But I mean, a lot of my guys still hustle. So with that being said, I'm far away from it now, but a lot of artists are not. You got to understand that I own my businesses. I get 90% or 80% of my trucking revenue. The factoring company gets the other 20%. I get 80% of my label, 100% of my shows. Most artists get 15% of everything. So, There's basically the difference in truck drivers and owner-operator truck drivers. A truck driver makes $1,000 a week. The owner-operator makes $4,000 to $8,000 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, what's like the crazy story from like when you were like a kingpin and stuff? Like, have you been in any situations where you thought like, fuck, this is like a life or death situation?
I've been in a lot of life and death situations. I've been in fist fights with Bloods, fist fights with Crips, fist fights with GDs. I shared racks with Vice Lords. I was the number one on the compound in the Feds joint, which means I was the representative for the Midwest car, the Kentucky car, which is our group. I've been in a lot of shootouts. I've been in robberies, me being robbed and me doing the robbery. So I've been in it all, man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Would you say being in that environment can also help your networking and like who you know?
Well, I mean,
Because it's
yeah,
like
of
everyone knows
course.
everyone, don't they? Like,
It's of course, but I'd rather have been the Drake rapper. I wish I never knew that life because I got a lot of losses from that life. You know, rest in peace, Ricky, Shirley, and Kellen Stockton, and Eugene Paul, and Nicole Paul, Rod Reed. I got a lot of losses from that life. So I would never tell someone to go that route. I wish I was a ludicrous rapper. You know, I wish I had went that route. Punchlines, forget the streets. There's nothing in the streets.
Yeah.
would you say for you now that's like what you're trying to promote? Like from your labels, showing that you don't have to go to these big labels, you don't have to do all these other things because you can make it by being you and doing what you're good at, doing music, and you get the revenue back that you deserve from that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a trap rapper, but that's not all I'm gonna have on my label. I'm a trap rapper because that's what came to me was trapping. And like I said, I went to go be an artist, and the manager put weed in my hands when I was 18 years old and said, "For now, this is what we're doing." And I became my own boss in the streets. I started off as a shooter for the Crips. Before that, my homie Rod Reed was the big homie, and you know I was putting in work for the Crips. I was the shooter, and then ultimately became a boss. So a lot of these guys talk about I spin the block and get my young dudes at you. I get at you myself. So I'm the young dude and the old dude. I'm the boss and the shooter. So, but that's in a whole nother life. You know, now I'm just a CEO. I stay in the house, I go to events, and I just do my thing. I let the youngsters have that game. But ultimately, you know, we're doing gangster music over here, but I will sign a rock star. I've been looking for a country music singer. You know, I'm trying to get rich. You know, I don't care what genre it is, but I do the music because I like it.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Because, like you said, like fucking me and Nathan, we want to start making money off podcasts and stuff, but it is mainly because we actually love doing this, and a lot of people work a life that they don't want to be working.
Yeah, well, basically a podcast. Once you get your YouTube partnership, and the commercials are popping up on your YouTube, and you can charge people for interviews, and then you can invite celebrities to interview that'll help run the views, and then eventually a person like Pepsi or Coca-Cola will come and buy you out or give you a nice piece of money so they can run all their commercials through your podcast because it gets a lot of money. So that's the route I would go if I had a podcast.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Good. Appreciate it. But
No,
what do you think's next for you? Like what, as in next 10 years, 20 years? Do you have like a plan? Do you have like a route that you want to go, like retirement? Like what do you think is the next few steps for you?
I want to take a company public. That's my biggest goal. I want a company that's publicly traded on the stock market and make my money while I'm sleeping. That's what I'm in it for.
What company do you see that being?
I got some apps that I want to build, basically, and that's basically where I'm at with it. I want to build apps. I got a lot of app ideas. I definitely don't think it would be the music. You never know, but I'm more focused on apps, movies, but mainly apps because business does more numbers than music, you know.
Yeah,
So that's just music is the stepping stone. I got a Kite Magazine interview coming up. I got a video shoot coming up. We're dropping on World Star Hip Hop, my song Thank You. It's now streaming. It's out right now through Empire. I got a lot of things like that coming up. We got the Dipset, Freaky Zeke, and DJ No Rap tour coming up. We got Benzino with Six to Great coming up. Hold on just for a second. Yo,
yeah, no
PJ,
worries.
PJ, your food's on the stove. Get the food with the. Oh, never mind, I'll do it. Yeah, that's my son up there.
How old's your son?
I got 120 and 110.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, hold on, I'll be back. I'll be back in the light here in a minute.
No worries.
No worries, man.
Yeah, I'll be. There you go, right there. Right there. All right. Yeah, I'm about to go pick up my A&R as we speak. We got to go to the studio. I got a song with Young Bleed from No Limit that features DVD Global Empress as well. She's out of Miami. She's also with Empire. And then we got a song with Metro ACS out of Cash Money, Birdman's label. And we got a song dropping. Those are gonna drop on 1 RPM. I got a deal over there too. So I split the records between Empire and 1 RPM.
Nice.
Have you got any last questions, Michael, or anything you want to wrap up with?
I've got nothing. Is there anything you're wanting to talk about, Robert?
No, I pretty much said everything, man. Go stream Rob Run Corleone. Stream my record, Thank You. Be looking out for Trap Star Tay. Be looking out for DVD Global Empress. Be looking out for DJ No Rap. Be looking out for Finesse Gang Polo. Be looking out for Michael J. We coming, man. We in this thing.
Nice.
Kentucky, stand up.
No, that was sick. I really appreciate that today. So guys, like I said, go stream his songs, go look at his Empire, look at all labels that come in. That was season 2, episode 2. Lovely to speak to you all. Everyone go subscribe to our Shuaige podcast, follow, subscribe, listeners, whatever. See you later, guys.